Funny how it all goes down. Don't be sorry when it comes around. I'm like, oh my god, I think it's karma. Ain't it funny how it all adds up when you're always trying to push your luck? I'm like, oh my god, I think it's karma. Oh my god, oh my god.
Listen, the truth is, with you I would never know what the truth is. I fell for all of your lie shit. You must have thought I was stupid. I trusted and you abused it. Spent time and you overused it. A glass of ginger and jack shit. You must have thought I was Cupid. Excuses after excuses. You wanted me to feel useless. It takes a lot of truth to gain trust and when lie to lose it. I put you up over music. Our flaws that will make us human. But the difference is you glorify yours instead of improving. Sometimes I remember back. You got your feet on the dash. Would've thought something so good could go so bad so fast. Would've thought that you would hurt me so much that I lose track. Who would've thought your lips and ass would be more real than how you act? And that's a fact. I never said I was perfect, I never claimed it. But I think you can admit that my heart is where most of the pain went. Avoid all my favorite places I brought you to, cause they're tainted. You cheat, lie, and play games and then blaming on being faded. It's
funny how it all goes down. Don't be sorry when it comes around. I'm like, oh my god, I think it's karma. Ain't it funny how it all adds up when you're always trying to push your luck? I'm like, oh my god, I think it's karma. Oh my god, oh my god.
Mom and dad didn't make it, so you gave up on love and try to use that as a reason why you gave up on us. I can't let you become the reason that I gave up on trust. You got this hole inside your heart, you try to fill up with lust. You give your mentions the attention that you never gave me. Who would've thought that when you broke me, you were setting me free? You tried to turn me into something that I never could be. But after watching what I would say, you would threaten to leave. Once again, so typical. Never in my life did I meet someone so cynical. Would've never guessed the day we met would be our pinnacle. You're flipping like reciprocals, you harp with every syllable. Shit, loving you is difficult, damn. I hope he treats you like you treated me. Sometimes I wish that you could see you from my POV. My friends and family told me that it's time for me to let it be. And karma's working whether you believe it or you don't believe. But thank you, you're an angel with no wings. How'd you play all of those games and still you got no rings? You just chalked me up to being just one of your own flings. Time to finally let it go and stop dwelling on old things.
Hello everybody and welcome back to the channel, which is apparently a live stream now. As this is my own channel, and apparently I can't even pick if we pre-recorded live things according to Reece Russell. But of course, I actually ended up working out in the better for when I actually thought about things. So I have another show to report tonight. Of course, it would not be a prediction show without Doug from the Dugout Football Channel. He's at his fiance's house. His fiance's at work, so he's got nothing else better to do, so we've dragged him on to do some predictions. He's also done his predictions on his channel, which is in the link in the description, to make sure to check that out. But we're going to basically tell him all of his predictions are wrong because mine are all right, hence my name, the mastermind himself. So Doug, how are you doing?
I'm good, thank you, Josh. Thank you very much for having me. And yeah, it's nice. It's just nice to just be like chilling out, which is nice. Got Pepsi Max in hand, so life's good.
And then I've got my co-host on the podcast. It's actually part of the podcast in a sense. It's the Scottish man, Reece. Apparently, he's the true mastermind, which we all know isn't true, But how are you doing, Reece?
Yeah, I'm good. Thanks for once again. Let's get in this show on the go, dude. This is our show, and it was supposed to be a pre-record, guys. I convinced to go live. So if you actually think about it, I've done everybody a favour.
We'll see about that from next week, won't we? Just before we do start, I want to say a big thank you to everyone for the support on yesterday's video. The support on that video has been absolutely incredible, from people who have met through the video to people who have known me for so long to people who have got interested. The support on that video has been absolutely incredible. Within not even less than 24 hours, even I woke up to even more messages and trying to keep up with everyone's replies and messages. It was really well appreciated. I hope it helps a lot of people, and I hope it As I said, it'd be more of those types of videos most definitely to come. But of course, we've got a ton of football about. We have a lot of Euro games to talk about, some interesting ones, some really dodgy ones, and I've got this idea of quite a few controversial scores to start off with. Hello WJ, hello Helly, Mel. Thank you for joining. Of course, Reece is in the chat because he's that good. There's 2 of them, so we'll get straight into this. Tomorrow's night game in Rome between Italy and Turkey. Now, Turkey are my dark horses in this. Yet, Italy seem the underdogs. Not many people are talking about Italy. They're 23 games unbeaten competitively under Mancini, and a very, very very scary attacking line. So, Doug, is it going to be the underdogs who are going to win, or is it going to be the dark horse who's going to win?
It's quite a good opening game to watch. In all honesty, I think Turkey have been fantastic recently, beating Netherlands 4-2. And they've got one of the messed upcoming, centre-back partnerships in Ozan Kabak and Kagler Siyuncu, and obviously you've got Hakan Şahinoglu.
Damari too, the Juventus centre-back, he's very good too.
They've got a really good backline, and obviously you've got Şahinoglu, controlling things from midfield. I actually think Turkey have got a very good squad, and then who can forget Burak Yilmaz at the age of 35. So, probably one of his last chances to, do well at a major tournament. But you've got Italy, who've got a very good squad under Roberto Mancini. Funny wee stat for you, actually. Italy in Rome haven't lost a game there since 1954. So it's a big, big task for Turkey. But first game, a few pre-match nerves as well. I'm going to go for a draw. I can't separate these. I think these two will be first and second in the group. I'm going for a 1-1 draw.
1-1 draw. Okay. Just have to say that, yeah. Listen, Reece, Reece, look at the thing that you're doing to people, man. You're making people suffer just to watch this live stream. It's terrible. And yeah, where is your Dan James pajamas?
I don't own a pair, and I never will.
Thank you, Weekly Amateur Podcast. Thank you for coming in. Reece, how do you see this game going? I know you're probably a big fan of I think you're a big fan of the Italians and what Mancini's done since he since he took over Italy. He is. You think Italy did not qualify for the World Cup 5 years ago, and now he's got this Italy team 23 games unbeaten. There was no reason why the Italy team couldn't go far. But how do you see them going fair up against Turkey tomorrow?
I think they're going to sit back in the first 20 minutes just to feel the Turks out. Just see how Turkey handle in the first 20 minutes. Can they get the game going? To be honest, I think Turkey are going to start rather slow as well. So it's going to I think it might fall into the Italians' hands because the Italians, particularly from the wings, have got so much pace. They don't play a typical back three anymore. They play the 4-2-3-1, the more balanced out opposition. Mancini's got them running like clockwork. If I was the Turks, I would be very compact against Italy. I would strongly advise compact against the Italians, but it's going to be interesting. I think you're going to see a lot, especially from that 5-man midfield. Chiesa, Insigne on the wings, Verratti, Locatelli midfield as well. It's going to be interesting. Yeah. Attacking midfield is where it's key for the Italians as well, but we'll see. I mean, you've got the likes of Lorenzo Pellegrini in there, who's going to be crucial, but it's going to be so interesting. I can't wait. And then obviously you've got Immobile up front, Donnarumma in goal. My only worry, perhaps, is left back. About who the Italians are going to play at left back. I don't particularly think they're strong there. However, they do have some very strong defensive options. They may end up switching it in the first game against Turkey. They might go back three. Strongly suggest they don't do it. I would stick with that 4-2-3-1. Just start slow, feed into the game, see how the Italians muster in, see how the Turks handle the Italians' core strength in the midfield. If the Turks cannot control it, then I think the Italians will be 3-0 up by half-time if the Turks can't contain that strong pressing team that Mancini's got going.
Just Richard, you two get around. Yeah, these two are literally part of the furniture on this channel. So you're guaranteed at least. If I have 3 streams in a week, at least 2 will at least be on one of them. Well, Reece is on the Monday night one, and Doug, Doug just loves talking football, don't you, Doug?
Rachel, thank you very much for tuning in. By the way, really do appreciate it. And if you want to come on for the England Scotland preview, then you're more than welcome to.
I echoed his words, and also thank you for coming into my channel.
Hands
So,
down.
yeah.
And
Hopefully,
Keen as well, weekly armchair podcast. He's another one to get going as well. Particularly from a Man United Liverpool perspective as well, going back and forth would be a good laugh.
if you haven't yet, make sure to hit that subscribe button. I think I'm 12 subscribers as we stand away from 100. So, also all support is appreciated. 2-1 Italy. So, on to my prediction. I'm going to go. I'm going to agree with that. I'm sitting on the fence here with a draw. Is it you don't beat France home and away and not be a bad team? And there's something about that Italy backline with Bonucci and Cittadini that I think the Turks will really.
I don't think you'll see those two though as the partnership. I think you might see Romagnoli starting there.
Mancini's already confirmed they're starting tomorrow.
They're starting.
That's already been.
Yeah,
that's already
sake.
That's the one thing with Italy. They have an aging backline, but you've got two of the top young goalkeepers coming up through Donnarumma for Italy, and then you've got Ergukan Shakir I think he's still at Besiktas I think
Florenzi right. They'll have Florenzi at right back. Then it's just left back that worries me if they play because they don't particularly have any good left backs. Like it could be Luca Pellegrini.
These are my two dark horses for the tournament. I expect these two to do well.
Mm-hmm.
I think obviously this game being in Italy obviously suits Italy, obviously home soil, home crowd and all. But Turkey actually have been really, really good away from home in the international scene. I think their backline's really good, their midfield's solid. Your attack's a bit worried, but if they do have, I think Unda, he could probably get in behind Bonucci and Cittadini quite well because Italy play a really, really high line. This is probably the most attacking team you could say within the Euros. So
only thing I'll say about Unda, he hasn't actually had a lot of game time. For Leicester City, but he is one of the main starters in that Turkish side. So I think you'll probably see Under. To be fair, Turkey has a lot of Premier League based players now. Okay, Kabak's gone back to Schalke, but obviously you know what I mean. Like he played for Liverpool. You've got Söyüncü at Leicester. I think he had one of the West Brom players that was I can't remember his actual surname, but it was Oki somebody.
Yeah, he's in the team. He's in the team as well.
Aye, so it's going to be a very, very good game, and as you say, Italy. It's great to see them back at a major competition as well, because obviously we know about them not qualifying for the last World Cup.
Embarrassing.
And yeah, it was embarrassing. So I'm looking forward to doing this as a watch along, just to be tag there. Yeah. So I'm really looking forward to this game.
My prediction is going to be a 1-1 draw between the two. I do think Nobile is going to score. I think he's going to have an incredible campaign. I expect very big things from him. So I'm going to go for a 1-1 dog. Going for 1-1. Reece, what was yours again?
I'm going 3-2 Italy.
3-2 Italy. Jeez. That'll be some game for a watch along, dog, wouldn't it?
Yeah, I'm going Immobile to score twice, and I'm going Tonali to score from off the bench.
Thank you very much for subscribing.
I think Calhanoglu is going to score 2 free kicks.
So moving on to Saturday's 2:00 game. This is a very, 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 very good game. This game is at Baku at the Stadio Olimpico between Wales and Switzerland. Now this is a very good game. Now the Switzerland team recently has done extremely well in big tournaments. Their manager is very well known. They've got a good squad, but their big-ish players aren't playing as much at the moment. They are aging a wee bit. Obviously, they got Jan Sommer in goal, which he's always turned up. Always turns up in the international scene. I'm sorry, Mel. I'm sorry. Just, those baggy memories are never going away. Wales, on the other hand, now Wales in their first game they played France away, which went down to 10 men after 10 minutes, and then they were awful against who was they playing? Albania at home with fans, and they were awful. This is like two teams. I think, Doug, in my opinion, these are two teams you just don't know what you're going to get from them in this competition. We don't know if they're going to be great, amazing. We just don't know because Switzerland are an in-between team, and Wales on this manager and the squad that you just don't know what you're going to get from them. So how do you see this game turning out?
Yeah, it's one of those games where anything could happen, really. I don't think there's going to be many goals. I think like Wales are very good compact defending, and you've got Switzerland who are very, very good defensively as well. So I don't think there's going to be many goals. Interesting to see what the mindset of Granit Xhaka will be. Because obviously of the transfer gossip between, it looks like he's going to Roma, which is very, very surprising. Jose Mourinho wanting an Arsenal player, which is very, very surprising.
He wants to win trophies, so he signs an Arsenal player. Shock.
Dan James. I think Dan James is going to be pivotal in this game. Obviously with his pace, he'll obviously trouble Ricardo Rodriguez at left back, but. I don't know. I look at the Switzerland side, and you look at the Switzerland side. Like I was looking at this earlier. I think 6 or 7 players come from the Mönchengladbach team.
Correct.
That's mental, absolutely mental. And then obviously you've got Shaqiri at Liverpool. I know he's not going to be there much longer, but he's very, very good. Brill and Bolo, he's very, very good as well. But Wales, you've always got a chance for Gareth Bale. You've always got a chance for Aaron Ramsey, but it's whether or not you can keep these guys fit.
There's no Volks as well. That's a problem for them in midfield, though.
That is a big problem. But obviously Nathan will not keep going on about that. He'll still keep going on about that. Bless him. But it's a very, very tricky game. As I've said, I do think there's not going to be many goals, but I've just got a feeling Wales are going to win this one. I'm going to go 1-0 Wales.
Reece?
I pretty much second all that Doug said there. My only concern is, even though the Swiss have been decent lately, I'm still not convinced by them as a national team in terms of I generally don't think they're good enough at all. In terms certain positions they really need to rely upon. Shaqiri especially, he's hands down one of their best players. You've also got Rodriguez, the left back. But he likes to play further forward, especially from a set piece. He is considerably deadly from a dead ball, but other than that, he's not particularly good either. The Swiss, on the other hand, they're lucky. They've got a very strong goalkeeper, one who is reliable as well, who I think will be on the move in the summer. But other than that, it's the same as the Welsh. The Welsh have got some decent players. Then they've got a speedster that can't play football. But other than that, do you really expect there to be many goals? Absolutely not. I honestly think it's going to be 1-1. It's going to be 2 free kicks each. I think Gareth Bale's going to score a free kick, and I think Shaqiri's going to equalise. So I'm going.
Do you think Switzerland lacks something up front? Because obviously you've got Severovic, you've got Brill and Bolo, but whenever I've seen Severovic play and Brill and Bolo play, they lack something going up front. They don't have a
physical presence for me. Especially international football, you need a striker with international, with a bit of physical presence and international pedigree. They don't have that. The only thing they could potentially suggest is moving Sheridan Shaqiri from a right wing position and maybe playing him as a false 9, trying that and see how it works. But other than that, I wouldn't really particularly say anything for the Swiss. I actually don't think the Swiss are going to get more than a single point at the Euros.
Well, who do you prefer, Dan James or Paul McShane?
I honestly hate humans sometimes. I prefer Paul McShane.
I'm going to... first of all, I'm going to say this. I think it's unfair for these teams to have to travel to Baku. I don't understand, why was Baku picked as a venue for the Euros? In terms of
idea.
In terms of how long it takes to get there and the atmosphere. We've seen it with the Europa League final. It's just not a particularly good ground for an atmosphere. I don't know how Baku even got a game, but anyway, I think Wales are going to win this game comfortably. The Switzerland, this is a stat that I've kept personally for my prediction, just to screw you two over.
You've been saying that. You've been saying that every time you predict against me, and you always lose. I don't think you know what screwing over is.
Switzerland have lost. Switzerland have lost 7 out of their last 10 games competitively and have not kept a clean sheet in 15 games. So I think Gareth Bale is going to have a wonder game. I'm going to go for a 2-0 comfortable win for Wales. And I think we'll see Nathan doing a bit of a dance on TikTok and on Twitter and on his watch along if he's doing a watch along. On to which is a very interesting game in the Group B between Denmark and Finland. This game is being played at Parken, which I don't know where that is.
That'll be Copenhagen.
And just then the referee for this game is Anthony Taylor, the Premier League referee, so God help him.
Oh God.
The worst referee I've ever seen, bar Mike Dean.
Can't wait to see England wear an England jersey.
Not gonna happen.
Okay, so right, Denmark is literally Ericsson. It's Ericsson, Schmeichel, and probably maybe Poulsen, because Poulsen can maybe turn up.
They've got a solid team, to be honest, Denmark.
Finland, this is the Finland's first, I believe, tournament they've reached in their history. Obviously led the line by Timo Pukki. Finland maybe could cause an upset here, but if Denmark are at home, surely maybe this is a bit of a comfortable win, Doug. But anyway, let's see what you have to say.
Yeah, I think. Look, congratulations to Finland on making it. I think it's fantastic to see them. Obviously with Pukki up front, and obviously Reece will know from obviously Glenn Kamara. Great wee player there as well. Yeah, they got Haradki in goal as well. So. But you look at that Denmark squad, they're one of the most underrated teams for me. They're in Scotland's World Cup qualifying group, and they've got 9 points from 9 so far. Mm-hmm. And we played Denmark actually next in qualifying.
It's the only game we'll lose to. Just saying now, that's the only team we'll lose to.
Yeah, so I think this Denmark side have got a lot of good players. Christensen at the back as well. Yeah, the big Christensen for Chelsea.
He plays CDM sometimes. For Denmark,
I've seen that.
He's comfortable in that position. International football, he's comfortable, but I think he'd be better off playing him at centre back.
I think Denmark will probably win, but I've got a feeling Finland will score a goal. So I'm going to go for 3-1 Denmark.
Reece?
Do I think there's going to be a shock result? Absolutely not. Sorry for any Finnish people that don't know me. I don't know any, so there we go. I think they're going to
name me.
I honestly believe the Danish are going to smash the Finnish. I'm actually going 5-0 Denmark.
5-0. Reece, are you sure you're okay?
I genuinely think the Danish are going to tear them to pieces.
5-0. My prediction, I'm going to go comfortable, but I'm not going to go as comfortable as Reece. I'm going to go for a 2-0. Listen, Finland are literally turning up here. They're going to try their best. They're going to do their best, but they're going to be too IPs. If I'm not wrong, I swear they did beat France recently, if I'm not mistaken. So they do have an upset within them, but I just
like North Macedonia against the Germans, it was a fluke.
I think this is going to be a comfortable win for Denmark. I'm going to go for 2-0. So on to the final game on Saturday. I missed this game because I'm going out with work on Saturday night between Belgium and Russia. So this game is at
Belgium.
This game is in Russia, so Russia have the home advantage. Now, listen, Doug, are we going to see Russia do another World Cup? Or is this squad too old? And this game, I know Belgium defensively are going to be very suspect. And Russia have a gigantic man up front who
he's like 6'5", 6'6".
He caused so many issues in the World Cup. This Belgium team now, I know a lot of people don't talk about this Belgium team simply because of the manager Roberto Martinez.
I don't rate them.
They've got a backline of Vertonghen, Jason Denayer, and Vertonghen. De Bruyne does miss this game.
Two Vertonghen's,
So Vertonghen, Fiorel, and Jason Denayer.
They've got Vermaelen as well.
And Kevin De Bruyne does miss this game. So, do you think Russia on home soil could sneak a point?
Well, I'm actually going to change my prediction. I've actually got a feeling there's going to be a wee surprise here. I've been very, very impressed with Russia recently. They're actually one of the most underrated sides that I've actually seen at this competition. They're so solid as a unit as well. And I think the thing is, Russia had a very good World Cup. Everyone remembers how they did the World Cup as well. But Belgium, look, as much as you can say, Lukaku, Hazard, they've got a bereft of talent. But the problem is, Roberto Martinez, I don't rate him as a manager. I've never rated him as a manager. So, Yes, I know he did well with Wigan, but obviously won the FA Cup and then got relegated. But
very good question. Do you think they underachieved at the World Cup? They nearly got knocked out by Japan, and he brought on Fellaini to save the game, which just he brought Fellaini on to save the game. They were 2-0 down. They got outplayed by. I think they got knocked out by Brazil, if I remember correctly.
Nah, they knocked out Brazil. Neymar spent half the time on the ground. They got knocked out by France.
Yeah, they knocked out Brazil.
They got knocked out by France.
Yeah, so they did knock out Brazil. I think they had to wait on a 1-1 draw as well. Januzaj scored against England.
That's right.
As well. So as much as Belgium have been doing well, it's the teams that if you give them a harder team, that's when I worry. This Russian side are no pushovers whatsoever. Home advantage for Russia. I think this is going to be a shock. 2-1 Russia.
Doug is going out there with the shock. Reece, do you join him in that?
I'm going Russia to win 1-0. I with all due respect to Belgium, they've got a floodload of talent, but see the problem is they just don't. They only play to one player's strength, and Lukaku. He's became a fantastic forward since he went to Inter Milan. Obviously, he's playing a slower league where he's been able to improve on his control, which has always been a talking point for people, as Lukaku's first touch is like kicking a donkey. But he has improved massively. Mertens is another one we haven't mentioned. Tielemans, they are excellent players. Torgan Hazard, Castagna, these are some very good players as well. And Meunier as well. He's also been reliable for Belgium. The problem is the system they play. Even though it's perceived as defensive, when they get going at the attacking side, I don't think they progress the ball quick enough to cause problems. But one thing I can say is, if the Belgians lose any game at the Euros, which will happen, it will not be like a 3-0 or a 4-0 drubbing. They'll get beat 1-0 or 2-1. It'll be so marginal. That's the Belgians. I honestly don't rate this Belgium team. I've never rated this Belgium team, and I've stuck with that. Regardless of where they go, I've never changed my opinion.
How he's still picking Thomas Vermaelen at the age of 38 just baffles me.
I know, it's ridiculous. And they've got some very good young centre backs in there. I love that comment.
Kevin the Fraud.
I honestly don't even though they've got world class players, they're an overrated team. They are, and I've said that to you before on a previous show. Every time we've spoken about Belgium, I've always said world-class players, world-class shite team. And I'll say it again, world-class shite team, because it's filled with players.
Are they still number one in the world?
Sadly, how they're number one, I've got no idea. They must Martinez must have nudes on UEFA or something. I don't know, but I don't rate them. I never have. I never will, and I hope they go out in the group stage.
I'm going to disagree with you both. I think Belgium will win. I think it'll be a 2-1 for Belgium. Listen, their attacking threat is scary. Lukaku's in the form of his life. If it's Torgan Hazard or Eden Hazard, I think if Torgan Hazard probably should play over Eden Hazard at least until Hazard maybe.
Eden Hazard's finished.
Torgan Hazard's been in the form of his life international wise. Dries Martins always turns up. Tielemans and Tielemans in the midfield had an exceptional season. I just think Russia. I just think Russia will give them a game. I think it'll be a really close game. I think it'll be 2-1 Belgium. I think Lukaku will get a brace. Moving on to the second game on the Saturday. The first game on the Sunday. Sorry, my fault. The first game on the Sunday it is Wembley, at Wembley Stadium between England and Croatia. Listen. England, now we don't have a clue how England are going to set up. There's been a lot of talks if they're going to play a back five, because Maguire isn't fit. Shaw's going to be centre back. Croatia are aging, but they still have a good, Kovacic and Modric in the midfield could still boss the midfield like there's no tomorrow. And they've got some decent attacking threat. I'm sure Perisic could probably still add. They've got some good, decent.
Vida.
So this team's been overlooked by England, but it's at Wembley. Wembley's going to be quite full for bearing COVID in mind. Doug, is Southgate going to show his embarrassment, or is England going to get the result? Obviously, you guys want to join us as Scottish fans, but
well, the last time England played Croatia in a major competition, they lost 2-1. Before that, it was the Wally with the Brawley.
2000.
Remember that? Remember that Wally with the Brawley? That was fucking fantastic. That, but I worry about England. I'm going to be honest. I think the one thing you can say, the reason I'm going to say this now, Southgate for me, it just doesn't cut it for me as a manager. I just do not rate this guy at all. Obviously, he's a yes man.
He's a waistcoat merchant.
He's a waistcoat merchant.
Just on that note, right? Do you think his team selection or not his international selection made no sense? You pick a Jordan Henderson who hasn't played in 4 months, Maguire who you clearly knew wasn't going to be fit, Tyrell Mings after probably a terrible year at Aston Villa.
Tyrell Mings should not be a footballer. I'm sorry, he shouldn't.
He belongs in a circus.
Jordan Pickford's still the number one, even though Sam Johnston had an incredible year. Maybe some other people not picking Aaron Wan-Bissaka. Probably it was probably quite a bad decision. I will say now. I think England going forward look very, very good, but it's limited tactics from Southgate, and defensively they are an absolute shambles. Luke Shaw's very good at left back, right back. You'll obviously have Reece James or Kyle Walker, but I think Kyle Walker's been found out recently at City. So. And as you say, Croatia got some very good attacking talent in Orsic, Perisic. They don't have Mandzukic, which I think is a big shame in that. But
I don't personally come from a Milan perspective. He didn't turn up in any single game. I think it's good for Croatia there.
I'm going to go for it. 2-1 Croatia.
Listen, we all know. I think we could all agree that the England meltdown if they lose will be so funny to watch.
Yeah, I will be bouncing on my couch.
Right, Reece, you're going to predict England to lose, but how much by?
You honestly think I'm going to say England to lose against Croatia?
Yes.
You sure?
Yes.
Positive?
Yes.
You're wrong.
Oh, we're actually going to think England going to win. Oh my god, this is.
I think this is going to be a draw.
A draw.
Yeah, fuck. 2-1 Croatia as well. But I don't think. See, the thing is though, is like this is the one game that England fans are actually more concerned about is the Croatia game over the Scotland game. So I'm actually intrigued to see what happens. I think the one thing there is England do have the better team. Like sadly, like they do have the better team than Croatia. The problem is England are the international equivalent of Benfica. They've done it once, they'll never do it again. And that's my view on them. And I don't see them going any further. Like they've got a manager who couldn't coach his way out of a paper bag. They've got a team that's filled with so much attacking quality that they can't fit them in and it doesn't balance the team. The midfield itself is also very strong, but he doesn't seem to know how to get that running. The defence is an interesting one. There are some very good defenders in there. The trouble is he's playing a system where he just wants to get as much defenders in as possible, but he doesn't necessarily have to. He's better off going with like a 4-3-3, where he can get the best out of his midfield, where he can get them progressing the ball further, which is what they need. England have got some very good ball progressing midfielders. He seems so obsessed with playing a back three when, frankly, it's not going to do them any favours. And the goalkeeping situation, we already know he's going to pick Pickford, who is England's best goalkeeper. And we'll leave it at that. But the only way England are going to win this game is if Harry Kane's not on corners.
Okay, my prediction. It's a difficult one because I watched England in those 2 games and they looked really, really unconvincing. And I don't see the point in warm-up games. One, why do you play players who weren't being called up to the Euro squad? You know, why were like Savali Watkins and James Ward-Prowse all playing? And 2, why were you playing a system that you aren't going to play at the Euros? So, you know, you're giving your team no match preparation at all. So I think the preparation from England has been woeful. And against Romania should have won. Romania really played quite well.
Romania should have won 3-0.
So, and it took England lucky goals. I think it's going to be a draw. I think Croatia are going to be a bit more defensive because they're going to England, they're going to away as such.
Oh,
So
yeah.
I think that will more impact the game, and I think England moves the ball so like you've seen better football from West Brom under Big Sam than you will do under Southgate. So I think it's going to be probably. I think honestly, I'm going to go nil each. I think it's going to be a nil each. I think
If it is a draw, that'll still do. Even if it's still a draw, I'll be happy with that. But
I
it's
think
going to be so. It's going to be a very interesting game because there's going to be revenge on the English minds, and Croatia are just going to go there thinking we can get at them if they press us. We can counter them.
So the next game, I don't even know how Area Nacional, but I don't have a clue what that is like. But I don't have a clue what that is. But it's the 5 o'clock game between Austria and North Macedonia. Right, Doug. These are two teams that are not going to go far in this competition, but a win here a win at a major European at a major international tournament will do these two teams proud. So this is a matter of pride and joy for these two. So who do you think is going to get it?
Yeah, absolutely. Look, Austria have got some very good players. Arnautovic, everyone remembers, has time at West Ham, but you've got Sabitzer as well, who could be available for £50 million this summer, which is incredible. So,
sorry, just to say this game is in Romania. That's
Romania. Interesting. Look, North Macedonia. I only know 2 North Macedonian players, right? Alioski at Leeds and Goran Pandev, the captain. So it's got to be an Austria win for me. I'm going to go 2-0 Austria, but I do agree with you. I don't think these two will go far in this tournament. I think North Macedonia is definitely one to avoid in a sweepstake. Let's put it that way.
Right.
Yeah, pretty much second that. Like, there's no way Macedonia are going to get anything. They got a fluky result against the Germans, which still pisses me off to this day. The Austrians, I think, are just going to smash them. I'm going 3-0 Austria.
I second you. I think it's going to be a 3-0. I think to put no offense to North Macedonia, they are literally there to make up the numbers and nothing more.
Yeah, like they do not deserve to be there at all. They don't deserve to be there.
Next up is your home nation, Scotland and the Czech Republic. Now, you guys literally have just spoke about this, obviously, for
you
an
missed
hour.
One game out.
Sorry, Scotland and the Czech Republic. No, I haven't.
No, you missed one. Netherlands, Ukraine.
Oh, wait, have I? I have, yes, I have. That's sorry, that's my fault. You're on top of it. I'm not.
Mm-hmm.
So the Dutch and Ukraine at 8 o'clock, and this game is in the Dutch at the Johan Cruyff Arena. Now, the thing is, you look at this Dutch team, right? You're thinking, right, they're favourites. No, they're not favourites. They're favourites for this game. They're a good team. Then you think you've got Frank de Boer as manager, so Ukraine probably have a chance in that in itself. That Frank de Boer is the man managing this team. Do you think Ukraine could pull a shock for the fact that Frank de Boer may ruin this Dutch team?
Do you know the funny thing is, I've seen actual people, and it's like I've seen like friends of YouTube actually predicting Ukraine to finish 3rd or 4th in this group.
Ukraine are winning this group.
I actually think Ukraine have got a really good chance. They look really good under Shevchenko. I mean, some of their players, obviously Yarmolenko, Konoplyanka, Zinchenko, Marlos. They've got a very, very good squad. And then Netherlands, they've got a great squad, but Frank de Boer is my worry. I think this is going to be a cracking game. I think it's going to be end to end. I think there'll be chances galore. Ukraine, not the best defensively, but going forward, they look really, really dangerous. Netherlands, not the best defensively, but they look good going forward. So I am going to go for a very cracking 3-3 draw.
3-3, right?
I second that. Not the scoreline, but I second the comments. Ukraine, such a fantastic team under Shevchenko. He has got them playing wonders. He's taken international football by storm, the way he's managed his national team. A lot of people wrote him off, saying he's just a club legend for like some Milan and Dynamo Kiev. And obviously being a Ukrainian himself, they wrote him off just thinking he isn't going to do any well. He went from being a politician to a manager, and look at what he's done. He's turned Ukraine into such an attacking team that people are generally writing them off. Give your head a wobble. Like,
Yeah,
look at
absolutely.
look at the teams they've played. France struggled to beat them. France, the so-called best team in Europe and the world, struggled against the Ukrainians. Give your heads a wobble. I'm going 4-2 Ukraine.
4
Wow.
4-2. I think Frank de Boer would be sacked after that one game alone if that happened. Given the Dutch are on home soil and the fact that they have a really good squad, they should be competing well here. But you look at how they played against how they played against Scotland. Scotland reserves more like, and they were terrible. Like they were.
Wasn't a freaking free kick either.
It was woeful. And then yes, they bet Georgia 3-0, but they only got 51% possession against one of the worst international teams.
They should be getting at least 70% with the team they've got. It's embarrassing.
So and listen, Frank de Boer is going to play a back five, and I think that might work into Ukraine's favours because this 5-3-2 formation, as Julian Laurent said on Monday night, is completely useless. It doesn't suit this team. So I think I do agree. I think if Ukraine do well this tournament, I think Shinchenko will probably get a job in a big league. I think
they're one of my dark horse teams. Ukraine, Turkey, and Italy are my dark horse teams.
I'm going to go with a Ukraine win. I'm going to go for a 2-0 win, and I think the Dutch are going to be very much outplayed. So to try again on the game I was originally talking about, Scotland and the Czech Republic at Hampden Park. Obviously you two just spoke about this on Doug's channel for about an hour straight. So I know you are both very confident about it. I'm sure you're very excited for it. So Doug, do you want to speak a few?
Yeah, I'm excited. It's nice to be back at a major competition after 23 years. Obviously, I said out the years, I'm not going to copy it because we'll be here all day by the sounds of things. But yeah, look, I think we've got a very good squad. I think it's people are writing us off, which is very, very understandable because obviously you haven't watched Scotland, and we are unbeaten in 15 competitive games.
Say that louder.
We're unbeaten
and people can hear it.
We are unbeaten in 15 competitive games. So, keep writing us off at your peril is what I say. I think we've got a very good chance against Czech Republic. I know Czech Republic have got some very, very good players. Obviously, Derrida, Socek, Holosek as well. And obviously, you've got Schick up front as well. Yes, I didn't swear. Schick. So, yeah, I think it's going to be tricky. I like the fact that we're at Hampden Park because obviously home advantage is very, very key. And we've actually done really well. We've beaten Czech Republic twice, home and away, quite recently as well. So I'm confident going into this game. I think we'll win 2-1.
Reece?
It's the exact same scoreline as me. That's exactly what I said. Scotland are going to win 2-1. It's going to be a very good game. I'm looking forward to it. The atmosphere is going to be electric. A lot of people are writing off Scotland, and honestly, you can just go and jump off a bridge. I don't care. The amount of disrespect that our country gets fucking pisses me off anyway. And I said it on this show an hour ago, and I'm going to say it one last time. Boris Johnson, your well wishes, we honestly don't give a fuck. We don't accept your well wishes, you Tory bastard. We don't accept them. We don't want them. Disappear, you twat.
I'm going to actually go for pretty much the same scoreline. I'm going for a 2-0. I think you'll keep a clean sheet. I think you'll probably score in the first half. You'll control. I think you'll control the game from him. McTominay. I think this system works really, really well for him in this side. As long as John Fleck isn't starting, I think you will be okay. So I think it'll be a 2. I think it'll be a 2-0. I think the
just need to improve on previous performances though, because the last 2 games, like Holland, like he wasn't particularly good in midfield, and obviously Luxembourg we should have won 3-0. He did not do anything, and even he came on for about 15 minutes before he came off of a possible head injury. Billy Gilmore done more in 15 minutes than he did in 65. That's a worry for me.
Which is why if I think he's fit, then I would probably start Billy Gilmore, but I don't think he will.
So, but I go with a 2-0 Scotland win, and I look forward to seeing you two going absolutely crazy on Twitter when that result happens. On to the second game on the Monday between Poland and Slovakia. Now, obviously, Slovakia are the team that won the playoffs against us, Northern Ireland. I just want to say this quickly to the chat and to you guys. Can you imagine the heartbreak I had on the 91st minute when Kyle Lafferty hit the post to send us through to the Euros. Can you not imagine how heartbreaking that is for me, man? Like, he turned, hit the shot, hit the post. We were a lot close away from being in this international tournament, but it's Slovakia and it's Poland. This game is also in Senate. Now, this Poland team has some very good players, but they never really live up to that expectation for the players that they have. Lewandowski has always struggled internationally with the players and the system that gets played. It's obviously very different to his Bayern Munich setup.
That's correct.
Slovakia, they should have lost to us. We should be in the Euros. Yes, I'm being a bit salty. Leave me be. But I think I'll start off with my prediction because it's very basic. I think Poland will win this game. I think it's going to be a 3-0 win. Poland, I think Lewandowski is going to get 2 goals. I do agree with Shane O'Donnell. The Slovakia team is nothing special. They were outplayed by us. They should have lost to us, but we have literally no good finishers internationally, so we didn't go through. But I think Poland's going to win us comfortably. Doug.
Yeah, I absolutely agree with you. I think Poland will win this one. As you say, Slovakia. I mean, the only really good players they have really is Milan Skriniar, Marek Hamsik, and the goalkeeper Martin Dubravka from Newcastle. So, I suppose. I suppose Vladimir Weiss is still in that squad. So, Poland, they're a tricky one for me. They have a good squad, but I am actually going to say this now. I think they will top Group E. I think they will top Group E ahead of Spain. I think they will top Group E. I'm going 2-0 Poland.
Reece?
I'm not too sure about this one. Personally, I don't think the Polish are an up-to-scratch team, but you would expect them to beat Slovakia. They do have a good range of players in there as well. Zielinski as well, the Napoli midfielder, is also a very good player for Poland. I'm pretty sure striker-wise, their backup as well. Used to play for Napoli as well.
Milik.
That's the one. He's all right, but he as a backup striker, that's all he is really. I don't think he's good enough to get ahead of Lewandowski. He never will be. But I'm going to go slightly different. I think this might be a draw. I'm going to go 1-1, to be honest. I don't know. Like, they're both interesting teams, but I don't know if Poland have got a killer instinct in them.
It's not an easy game to predict.
Yeah, I don't think I don't think the Poles have got a killer instinct. So I'm going to go 1-1.
1-1. Okay. Now, next game. Now, this is interesting because I don't know how much you two know, but Spain have a lot of issues going into this game here on Monday night.
COVID galore.
So obviously, Busquets has tested positive for COVID. The whole first team is in self-isolation. I know Rodrigo and Kappa Balaga have been called in, and Kappa is likely to start this game due to him having the most training with David Hela, Yuni Simonin, and Lopez. Not Lopez, but whoever their third choice goalkeeper
Robert
is.
Sanchez.
Robert Sanchez, not training, so Kappa might actually start this game. This Spain team against Sweden on paper should probably be winning, but they have they're still in isolation. They need to get their vaccines. They're still getting tested. There was an issue with Diego Llorente. He tested positive, then tested negative twice. They're still waiting for another test from him. They're going to be going into this game pretty much off with no training, no preparation, no anything. They had to play the under-21s against Lithuania in their second preparation game. So it's a funny one, Doug. They should be winning on paper, but Sweden really could fancy their chances here because they're going to be much more fit, much more sharp, and much more prepared than Spain.
It's such a shame. I think we all like the Spanish to do well. Let's put it that way. You've got a very, very. I think it's an average squad though. If you look at it, it's not the best. The only real good players I would say in that team is probably Thiago Alcantara, Dani Olmo,
Saul Niguez, Coca.
Saul Niguez. Yeah.
I think the only good thing that's going for them is maybe up front. Iago Aspas is probably it.
I think. It's a tough one to predict because you don't know what mindset the Spanish will have, whereas Sweden will have trained lots this week. So
Harry, you're right. You're right about Sweden, but Sweden are only missing 2 players. Their whole squad hasn't had the hasn't had the self isolate like
Yeah.
Spain's whole team have had the isolate. Sweden, I believe it's only 1 or 2 players.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go 1-1.
Reece,
If she's still in the chat, she's gonna chant wild in a minute. I think Sweden are gonna win this game 1-0. I think Lindelof's gonna score. And that's not a Man United bias. That's just me. I genuinely think.
you
I
hear
think
him?
they will.
You,
I like
Yeah.
Lindelof. I like Lindelof. I don't hate him. Where'd you get that idea from? I don't hate him. I just think I think he's a squad player at best. I don't think he's the
Oh no,
best defender we've got.
it's George. It's George. He hates him. George.
Get the facts right. I don't hate fucking Victor Lindelof, but I do think Sweden are going to win this game. I think Sweden are just going to win this. I feel sorry for the Spanish. I mean, they broke my heart twice. 2010 semi-finals, Euro 2008 finals. They did break my heart. Actually, you could say Euro 2012 as well, because also I've got Italian family as well. They smashed us 4-0 in the final. But what I will say is they do have a very strong side, the Spanish, even from an under 21 perspective. If they have to play their kids, they do have a very good young squad. If they have to go out with them, like, they're still technically sound. Get Luis Enrique working with them, they might actually do a job. But what I worry about is the lack of top level experience where they've got to go and play the major tournament, not an under 21 situation. That's why I would tip Sweden to just narrowly win it. After that, you would expect the Spanish team to be back, and that's when the Spanish realistically should kick on. But nope, I'm going to go Sweden to win 1-0, Victor Lindelof to score.
I'm going to go with Spain. I think Spain will probably have their player. I think they should have a situation short. I think by the looks of it, Busquets is the only one he has COVID, so they should have their team back. And I think Luis Enrique will have. I do know Luis Enrique plans to do a 6-hour straight training session to try and make up for lost time. I feel like they'll make up for lost time. They'll be well drilled.
That's Enrique's intensity. Like, if he makes him go 6 hours, you just know that'll benefit them.
The Sweden team, too, from the World Cup did really, really well for the squad that they have. And if they had Zlatan, they would probably be quite a scary team. Yeah. But I think
I'm gutted he's injured.
I think Spain will still win. Sweden are very old, very, very defensive, and a Luis Enrique team should probably just probably. I don't think they'll concede. I think it'll be I'm going to go 1-0 Sweden. So we'll go 1-0 Spain. 1-0 Spain. Because Sweden do not defensively concede a lot of goals. Okay, next only 2 games on the Tuesday. So we're going to start off with Hungary and Portugal. I feel bad for Hungary, Doug. They're in for a long tournament.
Yeah, I mean, look, Hungary have got some good players. Peter Galacci, Willie Orban. Who's the Adam Shalai? Is it Shalai?
Which one? The young attacking midfielder. Szoboszlai. He's out.
Is he?
He's out.
I mean, Portugal have got so much talent. I'm actually going to say this now. I think Diogo Jota will get the Golden Boot. Because he always gets somebody who you don't expect to get the Golden Boot. Happened in 2004 with Milan Baros, which is still mental. But yeah, I mean, look, Hungary to their credit, they're a very, very good side. But see this Portugal side, wow, it's just embers of talent. I think this could be embarrassing. I really do.
Right. Well, I'll ask you before you give your prediction. Right, this game's in Hungary. Hungary have 100% capacity. Their stadium's going to be absolutely rammed to the hell. Does this give Hungary any sort of chance to maybe get a result? Because going to Hungary, full capacity, the first time the players will be in this situation in a very long time. It's going to be a hostile atmosphere. Could that affect this Portuguese team who haven't particularly except for Ronaldo and Font and Pep? This team hasn't had international experience at the top level.
Yeah, but I just look at this Portugal side, and I'm just going to say this now. I just feel that Portugal will go, and it could get embarrassing. I'm going 6-1 Portugal.
6-1. Wow. Reece.
Very interesting prediction. Just wait to hear my prediction for France-Germany. What I will say is I agree. The Portuguese do have a lot of talent in there. The good thing for them as well is they've got a very competent European team in terms of their players are not too far out across Europe as well. They're very contained, especially in like the top leagues. That's a benefit for them. Other than that, the Hungarians as well. I've been to Hungary and I've actually seen Hungary live when I was there. They've actually got a very nice stadium, so I'll say that as well. Very, very respectful squad. Not one that you would say are going to beat teams, but like in terms of that, but they could cause an upset in this group. So I would keep a close eye on this group. It is a group of death for a reason. It is in my opinion, the three best teams in Europe, plus the Hungarians. I'm gonna go a little bit left field here. I am going to go Portugal 2, Hungary 2.
Okay.
I genuinely
Wow.
think, I honestly think that, and the reason I'm saying that right is, obviously I want Portugal to be the team that finishes third, because I want Bruno Fernandes to score a penalty against England and knock them out. But that's what I want to happen. I think Portugal are going to finish third in the group. But what I will say as well is I think you look at the team as well, there's always going to be an underdog team and you can't write them off anytime. I think they will cause slip-ups against one of the teams. It could be Portugal, it might not be. I would love it to be Portugal though, because I want Germany to get the top two positions. But do I think the Hungarians could take something off one of the three? Yeah, I think they will. In fact, you know what? Scrap it. Scrap it. I'm not going to put 2-2 on it. I'm going to go a bit higher than Doug. Fuck it. You said 6-1.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going 7-0. In fact, fuck it.
7-0. By the way, Paul, I love the way you said
the Hungarians, but yeah.
Paul, I love the way you said this is Hungary to watch Portugal land hello instead of saying hello. It's you said hello at the end. It's like walking into a room. Thank you everyone for coming. Hello.
If the Hungarians get a goal, they will defend very well. But if Portugal are like flying left, right, and centre, you would expect them to demolish the Hungarians. That's where this is one of those games where you really don't want to predict, because it's a country filled with rich talent versus a country that deserves a little bit more respect for in terms of like a football nation. Like historic wise, they've always had a very exactly they've always had a team that you would want to watch, because they give you a little bit of insight for good football. I would love for Hungary to get a result against one of the teams, except Germany. But you know what? I think it's either going to be a smashing or it's going to be a draw. So I'm going to stick with a 7-0. But it'd be so good if the Hungarians take a point off the Portuguese.
Oh my goodness, 7-0. I thought I was being generous.
I just walked in and checked it on my iPod. Evening. Well, thank you very much.
Paul.
Thank you very much, Paul, for coming in as you walked in. I'm assuming you're at work. Hope your work went well. So that, ladies and gentlemen, ends week one of our predictions, and I'm going to.
You missed France, Germany.
No. Wait, there's wait. So that's all the games covered in terms of simple predictions. Now we get into the really difficult one between France and Germany. Now, let me just double check something very quickly. Because I do have something here. So this game, I don't have this game is in Germany, if I'm correct.
It is. No, it's I think this one's in France. I think.
Back in a minute, lads.
I think France are the designated home side. I think
the Fishbowl Arena Mission.
Oh, so it is in Germany, and the fish. Oh, never mind. I know what stadium that is. Fucking hell.
That's Germany, yeah.
Yeah, it's a horrible stadium.
Right, so Germany are at home of France at 8:00. I don't know if it's on BBC or ITV. I haven't actually checked.
It's on. I think it's on BBC. I think that's on BBC.
It's Curry night. France to beat Germany. France to win, but Germany to process. So I'm sure we all agree with that. As Curry night. Now, Paul, very important question. How spicy is your curry? Is it? Are you low? Are you mild? Are you up there? Just, as a baker, I like my food. So obviously, Doug has left us. So Reece, Germany, France, and Germany. Now, I don't know about you, but people maybe are overlooking this Germany team a wee bit. Obviously, people are thinking Lucky Lau, 15 years straight. The team's not going to play. The team's kind of just gived up playing for him. Obviously, after what happened at the World Cup, so a lot of people are overlooking Germany. A lot of people have Germany done as the flop. Do you see it that way, or do you think the players are going to try and give Lucky Lau the send it away he deserves?
You look at the way they've been playing the past couple of games, like the pre-warm-up games, like they are showing that they are playing for him. Even though like they won 7-1 against Latvia, they showed classic Germany style pressing from front to back. They were dominating. I honestly wouldn't write this German team off. Even if the Germans finish third in this group, the Germans can still win Euro 2021. They have a very solid team, filled with rich talent that have won multiple trophies the past couple of years as well at club level, dominating left, right and centre. You've still got Toni Kroos in there leading from midfield. Joshua Kimmich is flourishing as well as a wing-back or as a midfielder. You've got Gundogan in there who offers rich experience. Goretzka is a very, very energetic and combative box-to-box player. You've got Kai Havertz influencing as well. Thomas Muller's been recalled to the squad. He's never failed to turn up at international level for the Germans. You've got Werner, who's had a little bit of mixing form, but he turns up a lot for the Germans as well. Gnabry, Sané, they're impressive for the German squad. My only concern is the fact that they've brought Emre Can over Julian Weigl. To me, that's an insult. Mats Hummels has been recalled. To the German squad. I think that'll benefit the Germans because he's still a solid defender. Klostermann, he's also a very solid defender, but he's quick as well, so he offers pace to handle the. I think that's why he's going to start in the back three to deal with the likes of Mbappe. He's got the pace in there to at least track back to cover Hummels. Neuer in goal. He's just constant professional, but he's a psycho. Fuck off. Fuck off now. But that's what I like about this German team, and I'm saying it all along. The Germans are going to win Euro 2021, and I'm sticking with it. I'm not changing my mind. Like, they've got the team for it. Low, he's always been consistent in tournaments. The only tournament where it went wrong was the World Cup. And to be fair, that's typical of the World Cup. Like the world champions defending it, they've always been crap, unless you're the Brazilians. Like they're like retaining it. They've shown like they can do it. But other than that, there's nothing else in it for me. I think the Germans are going to get to the final and win it. But in this game, I think it's going to be a draw. I'm going 2-2 draw.
2-2. Doug, welcome back. So, where do you see this game going between France and Germany?
Where is that Munich, isn't it?
It's in Germany, yeah.
Yeah. Well, it's the one that everyone wants to watch. I think it's got the potential to be a final as well. Look, I think France got a very good squad. Their squad depth, and to be fair, both France and Germany's squad depth is absolutely insane, along with Portugal's as well. I think everyone would want a squad like that. So it's going to be a tricky one. I'm going to agree with Reece. I think it'll be a draw as well. I'm not going to go slightly as high as Reece. I'm going to go 1-1.
I'm going to go for a Germany win. France, I'm controversial to say this, but I think Deschamps, however I say his name,
Deschamps, yeah.
Even though he won the World Cup, this is obviously really controversial. I'm going to get hated for this. I still think he holds this France team back because he is a very defensive manager. And if you look at that midfield and that attack he's got, and he does play defensive, he likes to play without the ball. He doesn't play to the strength of his team. But I think I just have a funny feeling Germany. I think Germany have a point to prove to the manager, to their country, to their fans, to everyone that they are still going to compete. And what happened at the World Cup was just if that thing at the World Cup didn't happen, this game would not be so one-sided to France in the bookies. So I think Germany are going to win. They're on home soil, but home fans are behind them. I think France. I think France have been figured out. They did not play particularly well against Bulgaria. They struggled against a very, very poor Bulgarian team in one of the warm-ups, and they had a full strength team out. So, Reece, I'm going to actually go for a Germany win. I think Germany's going to win 2-0. I think France will be exposed.
I think the French have got the better depth in terms of the defensive positions, but I think Germany in midfield and up front have got far better depth. I think they've got you look at that Germany forward line: Sané, Havertz, Müller, Gnabry, Werner, Volksschmidt. Like, that's a lot of good talent there. Goshen's as well. He lit up in the Latvia game. There's so many talent as well. You look at the midfield: Kimmich, Goretzka, Kroos. Like, there's so much in there as well. Like Gundogan as well. Like, he's also showing what he's capable of. And people write off this German team, and I'm like, it'll probably just because they've got agendas against certain leagues. But how you can write off this German team baffles me. They're a solid attacking team, and they're perfectly balanced in midfield as well. The only concern for me is defense. But to be fair, they brought back Muller, they brought back Hummels. I'm a bit annoyed that Weigl didn't get picked. I believe he should have went. I'm a little bit gutted that Marco Reus decided to opt out. I think he would have been perfect in there beside Muller, like the two best German attacking midfielders for a reason. Like, it would have been great. But the French have got good midfield. Like, they've played the diamond, but I agree they don't particularly play to certain strengths. Like, and we'll see what happens. But I think it's going to be a draw. If the Germans win, great. If the Germans win this game, then the Germans will win the group. If the Germans beat France, Germany will win the group. But I think it'll be a draw and Germany finish second.
Hello, Sophie. Thank you very much for
Sophie.
for coming in. Hope you're feeling very better after a few difficult days for you. Obviously you have the support of all of us free here, and then I'm sure everyone in the chat gives you your full support too, because what you've been going through recently is anything less than disgusting.
Yes.
So as I said, my prediction, obviously, I think Germany are going to win this. I just have you know when the team has a point to prove that they feel like. You think about Chelsea and City in the Champions League final. You know, besides us here, everyone was thinking, City's going to wipe the floor of us, but Chelsea had a point to prove. They were the underdogs, and look how well we played. There's no reason why Germany could do that to France, because I still think that Germany matched France in a lot of positions on the pitch, and people don't think that. So, I think Germany are going to do
it. Even though they don't have obviously France have got a few more players in terms of international experience, like Kante, Pogba, Griezmann, all that. But you look at the players the Germans have got in midfield, like Kimmich, Kroos. I just butchered one of my favourite players' names. That's disgusting. But you've also got Goretzka as well in there, and look at the energy that man brings in midfield. Like, fuck's sake. And
he's underrated, Goretzka. I love Goretzka.
He gets overlooked by so many players, but he is such a good player in midfield. You get him on the ball, like, he's going to cause problems as well. And I know Muller's getting on, he's in his 30s, but Muller, finding space, he's still the best in the world for it. Like, he finds a little bit of space. That man will score goals, and he regularly scores for the Germans when he plays. He hasn't played international football for a while because obviously Joachim Low omitted him, and he omitted Boateng and he omitted Hummels. But he brought those two back in, and it gives them a little bit more confidence in terms of experience in the team, which they need. I think it's great.
I have to say, Thomas Müller is so underrated. I love the guy. I love Goretzka. I just love some German players, and yeah, I suppose you could say it's Müller-licious for Thomas Müller. Sorry, I had to say that. I think the German side have got a good chance of doing well this competition. France, Deschamps does hold them back a little bit. They're still a fantastic squad. But yeah, that first game will be interesting.
The one thing that is worrying though is the fact that they've gone back to how they won the World Cup in '98 and how they won the Euros in '84. They're playing the diamond formation again. But that 4-man midfield, I'm surprised that they're still playing the likes of Sissoko, and they're still playing Rabiot, who I think are utter shite. But Kante, Pogba and Griezmann as an attacking midfielder is relatively interesting. They do need to get a better partner for Pogba, but other than that, they have got a decent squad. It's just, I think this is going to be the one game where you want to enjoy the most. Like, I hope the Germans win because I'm a Germany fan, but I think it's going to be a draw. And I think these two are going to finish the top. I think it's going to be these two that finish in the top two. I think it's going to be France to win the group on goal difference.
Right. My final prediction to you guys. This is something we're going to do just to kind of make things a bit more unique. So score predictions. Doug, who would be your player to watch for week 1 or match day 1 of the Euros?
Ooh. Now you've got me on the spot here. I'm going to go Björk Yilmaz.
That's a fair shout, Reece.
I'm going to say one from the early games. I think Manuel Locatelli for Italy is going to be one to watch. Other than that, from the latter games, you know what? I give that guy all the respect, and I still do. Gnabry or Timo Werner.
I'm going to say Torgan Hazard for Belgium. He's played really, really well his last few games. His club form for Borussia Dortmund was really good. He does play as a bit more of a left wing back for Belgium because they don't literally have a left back within their international setup. So I think it'll be Torgan. I think it'll be Torgan Hazard. I think he'll have a wonder game. He played really, really well against. It was in one of our warm up games. He played Greece. I was against Greece. He played really, really well.
He might play higher up though in the tournament itself. Though he might play higher up. You could see Castagna and Hazard playing potentially as like midfield roles instead of wing back. You might see that. You might not. But I think you'll see like their 3-4-2-1 system. Mertens, and I think Eden Hazard will play as two centre forwards behind, like two wide forwards behind Lukaku. It's going to be interesting to see what they do. I agree with Hell. Another mention, Felix. I think Felix is going to be interesting. I think, you know what, who as well I think could have a good tournament if he's in the Portugal squad? Renato Sanchez. I think he might have, if he's in the Portugal squad, I think he'll have a good tournament. Thomas Muller's my pick to win the Golden Boot. I think he's going to have
Jota for me.
I think he's going to have a fantastic tournament for the Germans.
So that ends our match day one of the Euros prediction. So to ask you to just while I have you here, so obviously the Euros are ongoing every day, so we need to try and find a slot to do our next set. So we have two different options, so three different options. We can do it on the Tuesday, the 15th of June, between 5 and 8 o'clock, which is between the Hungary and Portugal game and the France and Germany game, or because there's no early kickoff on Wednesday, the 16th of June, the first game's at 5 o'clock, we could do it at 2/3 o'clock on the Wednesday, the 16th of June. Which one suits you two?
My worry is because I work. I'm not going to go off till late, so it'd probably be better for me like round about 7, like just after 7 on Tuesday. It's probably my best time.
7 Tuesday, Doug?
I work Tuesdays, Wednesdays, so what I could do is I could send my predictions in to you, and then you could read them out if you want.
Yep. Okay, that's fine. So let me and Reece will record. We'll record at 7 on the 15th of June, and we'll try and rush through it as quickly as we can.
What we also could do as well is we could do Sunday.
Sunday? Is there?
We could go in between like the end, like the middle games of like the. Because the second half of the games start on the second half of the games are Sunday, so we could go like Sunday tea time.
I'm busy Sunday.
There we go. Well,
we'll figure it out.
But I hope everyone enjoyed. I said we will work out. We obviously, it isn't like obviously like the Premier League predictions where you had a week to record the whole thing. We do need to kind of we'll squeeze it in somewhere. So if you guys did enjoy it, make sure to hit the like button. I'm on 91 subscribers as things stand, so we're 9 away from the first milestone of the channel. I said, but as Doug, I remember Doug's what was it? Doug saying when I decided to go with it, he said it's a marathon, not a sprint, isn't it? That's what it's called. So
always exactly.
That's very much how I take it. So if I reach 100 subs at the end of the week or next month, whatever, I'll always be appreciative whenever the time comes. But hope everyone did enjoy this very short notice. # blame Reece Russell. You can find the Twitters and the socials of these two on the screen and in the description below. And hope you all enjoy it. And obviously check out us three will be on Doug's channel tomorrow for the watch along. I'm in work at 4 o'clock on the Saturday, so I'm literally going to die just to watch football and just to be part of this watch along. So Doug, you should feel very blessed that I do such things. But I will see you guys all later. Hope you enjoyed, and thank you very much.